Today we're doing the multi-step equations. The key on here is when we start adding in things that you don't understand, please ask as we go. You know what you did on the last one. You know what caused you issues when you were trying to take the test. Now's the time to step up and ask your questions. So we are now putting combining like terms in a problem. I had a lot of people have trouble distinguishing between whether to combine like terms or do underneath stuff. We can make it very clear. Draw that line down your equation. Right. If you have like terms, meaning the same variable raised to the same power, or numbers that are just numbers, if they are on the same side, you are going to put them together. So for example, we have a like term here with the 4x, put a box around it, and this plus 2x. Put a box including around your sign that goes with this so you know whether to add or subtract. Okay? Bring down the 6 equals, combine 4x plus 2x, and that gives you 6x, and then you bring down the minus 20. The only way you can combine like terms is if they are on the same side of the equal sign. They cannot be on the other side of that line. If they are, you cannot combine like terms. You have to do underneath stuff to go through that line. From there, which number would you get rid of next? Yeah. How do you get rid of a negative 20? Add 20 to both sides. So we are going to add 20. Add 20. It's going to put us at 26 equals 6x. This is now multiplication. The only way to undo multiplication is to divide both sides by 6. And that's going to leave us with the 6 canceling out. That's just x. And then you need a calculator to make sure you type this correctly. 26 fraction by the 6 equals
13 over 3.
Second fraction button.
13.
Should put it at 13 over what?
13 over 3.
13 over 3. Perfect. Okay. For the next one, same concept. Draw your line. We cannot combine the 7 and the 32. Although they are like terms, they are not on the same side of the equal sign. The only ones that can be combined are the 10y minus this 5y. Please circle the actual symbol with the second term. When you combine those, you're carrying out whatever operation is there for them. In this case, it's 10y minus 5y, making it 5y. Then bring down the plus 7 equals 32. Now it looks exactly like yesterday's assignment. We would move the non-variable term away from the variable, so we're going to minus 7 minus 7. It's going to make it 5y equals, and 32 minus 7 is going to put us at what? 25. Bless you. We're going to divide everything, we're going to divide everything by 5. We always divide by the coefficient because our goal is to do that. And we're going to end up at y equals. Now, 25 divided by 5 is going to put us at 5. Okay, questions, concerns, anything about that before we keep going? Okay, guys, here we go. For the next one, we have distributive property get involved. Once we get distributive property involved, we need to make sure that we distribute before we move. Guys, you cannot add or subtract unless you distribute first. This distributive property, based on order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that multiplication on the parentheses, the very first thing, please. Got to get rid of that before you do anything else. So we are going to distribute here across this parentheses. It's going to make it 11 times 2 is 22 minus 11 times x is just 11x, and it's equal to 30. Alright, there's no like terms on either side. You're going to take and get rid of this 22. Now I do have to say, this was a mistake on the test. A positive 22, to make that positive 22 go to the other side, you need to subtract 22 from both sides. That's the only way you can cancel it out. That makes it negative 11x equals 8. We are dividing by which number? The negative 11. And that makes it x equals. Now you have a calculator that will do this for you. You can go ahead and do the typing on the calculator. 8 fraction button 11 negative equals second well, you don't have to do, I don't even think you have to put second fraction button, do you? It just goes stays the same, doesn't it? Yeah. Because it's not an improper fraction, you don't even have to do the second fraction button thing.
You just put the second on the zero button.
Yeah, it'll turn into a decimal though, you gotta be careful. Okay, guys.
Decimal.
Yeah. Negative 4 gets multiplied across both these. Now be careful when you're distributing a negative. Actually, this was not that bad on the test. There were a few mistakes with this, but not nearly as many as normal. So this was actually something y'all were really careful about. Negative 4 times 3y is negative 12y. Negative 4 times negative 2 is going to be positive 8 equals 32. Since it's like regular two-step equation, we got to move the non-variable term first. We're going to minus 8 minus 8. It's going to make it negative 12y equals. Then we got to subtract that 32 minus the 8. That puts us at 24. From there, it's regular multiplication. Undoing multiplication, we undo it with division. Do not put division symbols on your test, guys. We talked about this in algebra. We don't write division symbols. We write fraction bars. We're dividing by negative 12. Dividing by negative 12 puts it at y equals negative 2. Concerns, questions, anything about this? Okay, now the last 4 are dedicated to one of the things that was a major issue on the test. Different denominators. You've got to figure out how to deal with different denominators. I had a lot of people attempt it, and then I had a lot of people who just acted like they weren't there and did some funny things to it. Got to know how to get rid of these denominators, guys. So, when you have 2 different denominators, or 3, or 4, or however many you have, find the biggest of those denominators, circle it.
I thought the smallest one.
You're going to take this number, you're going to write out the multiples of it. First one's going to be 5, then we got 10, 15, 20. We are looking for the first one that 2 will also go into. Out of that list, what goes into that? 10. Perfect. No issues finding that number. We're going to multiply every single term, every term, not just one of them, not just the fractions, all of them, by 10. You have a calculator that will do this for you if you use your calculator correctly. Type in it. 3 fraction button 2 times 10. Now, 15. Now, listen, I don't do that, guys. I say 2 goes into 10, 5 times 3 is 15x. I'm not going to waste my time. I can do that in my head. But if you need to use your calculator, use it. It's there for a reason. I have really good arithmetic skills, but I've been doing this a long time. Choose what works for you. Yes, sir.
It's not really a question.
Okay.
Before, I thought you would go, since x goes into 10, that's the first common denominator thing. It'll go into 10 2 times, so you multiply the numerator by 2. And then 2 goes into 10 5 times, so you multiply that.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're doing.
You multiply by 10.
No, I didn't.
No, 3 by 10. I thought you multiplied the
I did not. Whoa. You had to find a common denominator, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you've got to put that common denominator here. Times 10 times 10 times 10. Now what you're doing is 2 goes into 10. How many times you tell me? 5. So 5 times 3 is 15x. You did it. You're just skipping that, like, got to get the 10 up there. That's what you're multiplying by. So that when you do it, what you're really doing is this, just so you can see it, 3 over 2 times 10 over 1. You're really saying 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 10 5 times, then 3 times 5 is 15 over 1, which is really 15. We just don't write that out because we're not in middle school or elementary school anymore. Okay? So you're all right, you just got to get like that next connection to it to get it to the algebra step. So 5 goes into 10 2 times 1 is going to put us at 2x, or your calculator will do 1/5 times 10. And then guys, when you multiply by 10 on a number, what do? Just add a what? 0. So 130 on the end of that. Now, these are like terms. You cannot do any underneath stuff here. These are like terms on the same side of the equal sign, and they need to be combined. Oh, that looks like covered up the 1. Hold on. They need to be combined. 15x minus 2x, they're both x's on the same side of the equal sign. Okay, they got to go together. So 15 minus 2 is going to put us at 13x equals 130. Then we divide both sides by 13, and x equals 10. Anytime you divide by that, by the first number same, just goes in there one time to the front, and 0 goes in the end. Any questions? I see some people making some correction. That's awesome. Got to fix those things that you had wrong.
I'm saying my mom thought that I got my own thing mixed up because I was like, Karen, the wheels, Karen.
You have one of the wrong papers? Yeah, it's no big deal. Okay guys, common denominator over here. Now this one's kind of unique because 8 is the biggest number. But when you list out the factors of 8, 16, 24, etc., 4 and 2 will also go into 8. So you can just use that denominator itself. So we multiply everything by 8. That 8 cancels out. We bring down the 1 equals. You do 3/4 times 8. That's going to be 4 goes in 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times y is 4y. Again, you can use your calculator. That one would be 1 fraction button 2 times 8. 1 fraction button 2 times 8. Does anybody have a question about typing any of that part on the calculator? Okay, here we go. Which number am I going to move next? 6. It is a positive 6. What do I need to do to it? Subtract 6.
I got negative 5.
That cancels. We bring down the negative 5 equals negative 4y. We've got to divide by the number that is the coefficient. So in this case, we're dividing by the number right here connected to the variable, the negative 4. That lets me cancel that out because my whole goal is to get that variable by itself. Now, before we do anything, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. You shouldn't even need to type that in on the calculator. And if you type 5/4, hit second fraction, but it ends up right back at 5/4.
It's a negative 5/4.
Nope, a negative by a negative is a positive.
I don't even know why it just said that.
Yep. Okay, 2 left. Let's get these knocked out. Make sure you understand. Anybody have any questions before I go? Last 2. I want to give you time to work because we got older check tomorrow. Okay, last 2 guys. Here we go. Okay, for 3 and 4, not even going to list out the multiples. Y'all tell me, what will 3 and 4 both go into? 12. Perfect. If you need help with that process, come see me. I'll walk through that with you. When you do 1/3 times 12, 3 goes into 12 4 times 1 is 4. 4 goes into 12, 3 times 3 is 9x. And 6 times 2 is 72. Questions about typing any of that? What am I moving? 4. We got a minus 4, it's a positive 4. The only way to make it go away is to minus it. Got a minus 4, not add 4. It's a positive 4. If you add 4, that makes 8. That makes it negative 9x equals 68. Divide both sides by negative 9. I think it's going to be just an ugly fraction, right? Check it on your calculators, guys. I don't think it reduces. Just stays like that. That's a pretty ugly fraction. I'm just surprised that's a funky one. Yeah, that's what I got.
Does this x equals 68 over 99?
Now, I would not, like I said, guys, I'd work on getting your negatives off the bottom. So if your number like that, I'd put it in front or on top. Because it's something you're going to have to do when you get to Algebra 2. They won't accept it on the bottom. There's rules for that. I'm not going to hold you to that yet. I'm just telling you, if you'll work to getting them off the bottom, you'll be much better off. Okay, guys, now for 14, what will 14, 2, and 7 all go into? 14. They all go into 14, so this one just cancels. We bring down the 3, minus 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times x is 7x. 7 goes into 14 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Any questions about typing it on the calculator? What would I move? What would I do? Thank you. You notice how many of those I keep putting in the examples because I keep getting missed on the things? They're a big issue. That cancels. I get negative 7x equals 7. Divide both sides by negative 7, and my answer is x equals what? Negative 1. Perfect. Okay, guys, that's your notes for today. Let's go ahead and get you started on your assignment for today. Now, again, listen. I'm going to pass out a worksheet, and yes, it's due tomorrow. However, there is only so much time that you have access in class to getting any materials that need to be copied down from up here. Take a picture, feel free. Because tomorrow these will be covered up. Okay? This has anything you're missing, so if you need to get anything out of here, today's the day, before you leave today. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead, take your time. Now, remember, there's no 8, because 8 is an Alex assignment, right? In one of them, we have one, that one might be in geometry. Hold on, let me look. Let me look. Give me a second. We have an 8? If we do, then that's my geometry class. One of my classes does an Alex assignment. Okay. That's my geometry class. All right. Let me look and see. I may have one of the papers. I'll go look in the files. Give them back. Today would be a good day to hand those back. If I've got excuses, I think so. I don't look down while I'm trying to count. Yeah, please. If you need to get up and get a picture, now's a great time to do that. Now would be the time to get any papers you're missing. Okay. Let me see real quick. Got any of yours? Yep, I've got one of them. I've got number 10. Is that the one you're looking for? Yeah. Perfect. I'm going to take this and pass it around. Since you asked, I'll let you pick first. Okay. Make sure you only get the green ones. The yellow ones are for geometry. Green for y'all. Okay, guys. Again, working on this worksheet. I've got a key out. You can check as you go. If you need to do anything or get any papers for your folder, now would be the time. However, guys, if you forget and you realize tonight that you're missing something, where would you find it? Online on campus. Everything from my class is on campus. Everything from my class is on campus. Everything from my class is on